mad people got heroes.
Yo, son.
I'm talking about you.
You talking about you?
Heroes, but then you got that hero, that one hero. That's my brother Will Smith right here. Let's give him a round of applause. Happy Easter.
What's up, man? Family, what's the deal?
I treated you with anything less than absolute honor and respect. My deepest, most humble apologies, brother.
Will Smith never imagined he'd be standing in a courtroom, eyes locked on the man he once toasted like a brother. Years ago, they shared champagne and secrets at the biggest parties in Hollywood. Now, he's testifying against him. Now, Will is speaking into a microphone, hands shaking, telling a story no one ever expected to hear. A story about secrets hidden behind smiles, and a friendship that turned into something dark, something dangerous, the kind of story that makes you wonder how much you really know about the people you see on screen.
Now, a federal judge immediately rejected a defense request for a mistrial in the sex trafficking trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
It comes as the third week of testimony continues. The motion was requested as an arson investigator was on the stand testifying about a car fire at the home of another rapper. Fox's CB Cotton has the latest.
Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers moving for a mistrial after they accused prosecutors of trying to suggest the music mogul had evidence linked to an arson incident destroyed. A judge quickly denied the bid and asked jurors to disregard testimony from a fire investigator.
Behind that courtroom door, secrets are spilling out. Secrets that were never meant to leave the parties. And slowly, piece by piece, everything is falling apart.
What's happening, baby?
What's up, baby? I see we on you this quarantine pup talking to quarantine Will, and it's all it is ultra bright, radiant, glowing wisdom.
I love that. Yeah, we got our quarantine beards going on too.
It was intimate. And it was like, yeah, intimate and just trying to like, you know, with the new music, like people are all the way there, you know, for the nostalgia. So I wanted to like not have none of the bells and whistles and just try to, you know, reconnect in the new space that, you know.
They used to be like brothers. That's how it looked. Will and Diddy always showed up together, always laughing, always close. In the early days, when both were rising stars, they leaned on each other. They clinked glasses at parties, cheered each other on, and looked out for one another. Will liked the way Diddy moved, confident and bold, building something out of nothing. He respected that. There was real friendship there, or at least that's what Will believed.
He's showing me around. This dude got like a chapel in his house. Oh, wow. I've never seen no shit like. He got a whole chapel. I said, and then we just walking by all these rooms, and this one room, it was like the light was like it was dark in there. And we just was walking by, but you could, it was the door was open just a little bit, and you seen all these cameras, and you seen like it was like a bunch of TV screens, and we walked by. I was like, what's in that room right there? And he was like, oh, and he opened it, and there was like 10 people sitting at computers just watching. It was like security, like just watching his house, just watching the whole shit. And
yeah,
I was like, oh shit.
I don't have that.
This shit different.
I don't have
that. I'm pretty sure. You got people.
At first, the parties were just that. Parties. Loud music, drinks, famous faces, big houses in the hills. Will didn't think much of it. He had been around that scene long enough to know the drill. But after a while, little things started to bother him. He noticed cameras in strange places. Some rooms had guards outside. Once you walked in, it felt like you couldn't just walk out again. There were people who didn't talk, only watched. The vibes started to feel off.
It was a Diddy post that they posted. And Cassie, her husband, left a comment and called Diddy old and fruity. How you feel about him saying that?
I think that him and Cassie be pillow talking. That's his wife. He didn't see. Cassie can't say anything because he made her sign a ND, a non-disclosure. But she can whisper things in her husband's ear. And some of the stuff that she's probably saw had to go through with dude, her husband just speaking on it. He can't say where he got it from. But then again,
Then came the message. An email sent from someone close to Diddy. It said, Will, this is the last chance I'm giving you for us to connect. Don't let things get complicated. It didn't sound like a normal party invite anymore. It sounded like a warning. Will began to say no to more invitations. He thought that would be the end of it. But that's when things really started to go wrong.
He gotta know. People gotta know where he got it from. That's his wife. Yes, he's an older guy. He might be a whole lot of fruity too. But Cassie would know that just like Kim knew that.
So you feel like Cassie is the one that's telling her husband stuff behind the scenes about Puffy?
Right. And you gotta realize he was their trainer. He was her trainer before he became her husband. So she may have was telling him stuff way before they was even married.
As Will thought saying no would be enough. But one day he got another message. No name, no explanation, just a short video attached. He opened it, and what he saw made his stomach turn. It was him, in a room he barely remembered, looking out of it lost. He was doing things he didn't remember doing, his eyes looked strange, like he wasn't fully there. That's when it hit him, he had been drugged. He had no idea that anyone had been filming him, but clearly, someone had. And now they were using it against him. That video wasn't meant for him to see, it was meant to scare him, and it worked.
Yeah. You know why I got a whole fucking song named Will, I'm feeling like Will. So I done.
So you just ring the doorbell and tell security, yo, open the door, let's join the look.
Nah. I push the button at the gate. We got like 3 gates. I push the button at the gate, and the dude talks to me through the intercom and say, what do you want? And I said, it's Jordan Lucas. I'm here to see Will.
He didn't say, what do you want? He did not say, what do you want? There are protocols of speech around here. He said, hello, sir, how may I help you?
He said, what do you want?
You heard, nigga, what you want? That's what you heard when he said, sir, hello, how may I help you?
Along with the video came messages. Stay quiet. Don't speak. Keep coming to the parties. If not, this video will go public. Your wife will see it, your kids will see it, the world will see a different Will Smith.
So before we get off of this topic, right, because I'm sure people is going to want me to ask you being around Puffy, is there any truth to him being fruity?
I don't know what you mean by really, do I see this man being fruity? Does a man like other men? I think he's brother love. He love other men. Bruh, I can say this, and I'm gonna leave it at that when I say it. And this is not something that, really interests me and might interest the viewers and everything like that.
In 2013, Diddy offered to help Jaden with his music. He said he believed in the kid's talent and wanted to support him. It sounded nice, kind. So Will encouraged it. He thought he was opening a door for his son. But when Jaden came back from that meeting, something was off. He looked pale, quiet, not like himself. Will asked what happened, but Jaden wouldn't say a word. Over time, Will watched his son change. Jaden became closed off, always anxious, like something heavy was sitting on his chest. It broke Will. He didn't know how to fix it. He didn't even know what really happened. All he knew was that he had trusted the wrong person. He had sent his son into the arms of someone he once called a friend, and now he couldn't undo it. He couldn't make it right.
Well, are you surprised that Diddy did not get a bail? Like, he's in jail right now as we're speaking.
I am surprised that Diddy didn't get a bail, and I think probably he was surprised that he didn't get a bail. And I think that I love how you went from Cube, and then you're like, are you just sorry? Your transition game is crazy.
Oh, it's insane. I'm the best at this.
I'm surprised that Diddy didn't get a bail, but I don't think right now, based on what I know and based on what I see, I don't think, unless there's a real twist and turn to the plot, I don't think he's coming out of jail again.
When Will finally stepped into the courtroom, it wasn't just to speak. It was to unload everything he had carried for years. He told the truth, even if it hurt. But Diddy's lawyers were ready. They said Will was lying, making it all up to fix his image after the Oscars. They said he was trying to shift blame, trying to get back at Diddy. But Will stood firm. This wasn't a game. This was his life.
He said, what do you want? And I said,
he didn't say, what do you want?
I said, sir.
Nobody in this house says, what do you want?
I said, sir, I'm here. I said, sir.
Oh, so you said, sir. So you said, sir.
I said, sir, I'm here to
Joker.
I'm here to see. I'm here to
sir,
see.
sir.
Yeah, and my humble voice.
Hey, so you were doing like this. Your
I got
hands
my
were
humble
like,
voice. I had my humble voice together. And soon he was like, "What do you want?"
What do you? Yeah, he's.
And I was like,
Joker,
okay.
you are hilarious.
I said, "Can I humbly?
No.
Can I humbly talk to Will Smith?"
Please, boy.
He said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Jordan Lucas."
He didn't.
And every time I say who,
say who are you.
He says, "Who are you?"
Will didn't just bring words to the courtroom. He brought proof, real messages, real emails, real bank slips. The FBI checked everything. They confirmed the emails were real. There were text messages too, sent from throwaway phones. All of them had the same kind of warnings. Some said things like, "Your family deserves peace, don't they?" Others were shorter, just a name, a time, a reminder that someone was watching.
What the defense attorneys are doing is also preserving appellate issues, where they will go back and say that this testimony should not have been admitted.
It comes days after rapper Kid Cudi testified that he believed Combs was involved in 2 incidents, a break-in at his Los Angeles home and a fire set to his Porsche. Combs has denied being involved. Today, an LAPD officer testified he saw a car near Cudi's house on the day of the break-in that was registered to Diddy's production company.
They don't actually have to show that Sean Combs himself engaged in the arson, but the fact that he was part of the enterprise and one of the predicate acts of the racketeering offense, it's helpful to prove that charge.
Then there was the money. In 2016, Will sent $500,000 to a small company. On paper, it looked like a business deal, but it wasn't. Will said it was the price he had to pay to protect his family. He called it hush money. The FBI believed him. They said the company was linked to Diddy. It wasn't just a guess. It lined up with the threats and the messages.
What they're doing is also preserving appellate issues, where they will go back and say that this testimony should not have been admitted.
It comes days after rapper Kid Cudi testified that he believed Combs was involved in 2 incidents, a break-in at his Los Angeles home and a fire set to his Porsche. Combs has denied being involved. Today, an LAPD officer testified he saw a car near Cudi's house on the day of the break-in that was registered to Diddy's production company.
They don't actually have to show that Sean Combs himself engaged in the arson, but the fact that he was part of the enterprise and one of the predicate acts of the racketeering offense,
Even after Diddy got arrested, Will didn't feel safe. He said he still felt like eyes were on him, like speaking out could get him or his family hurt. That fear didn't end when the handcuffs came out. It stayed.
Coming out of jail again. I don't think, I'm surprised he didn't get a bail, but once they kept him in jail, he ain't getting a bail.
Well, right, because there's witness tampering. He called one of the witnesses like 55 times in a day.
Since he's been in jail?
128 times. No, but before he went to jail, there was, because what had happened was, Dawn Richard, who used to be part of Danity Kane, filed a lawsuit. And in the lawsuit, she mentioned her group mate, Kalina Harper, a bunch of, 33 times. So Diddy called Kalina 128 times, and then Kalina wrote up a statement saying that I don't agree with all this stuff and all my...
After Diddy was taken in, Will thought maybe things would calm down, but they didn't. Instead, the threats got louder. He said strange calls started showing up again. No one would speak, just heavy breathing, sometimes a laugh, sometimes a whisper telling him to stop talking.
Just coming to my house. You are welcome in this space, and it is my deepest pleasure and honor when you come to my home. And I will address anybody on this side that treated you with anything less than absolute honor and respect. My deepest, most humble apologies, brother. There you go. See that?
Like that shit will never happen.
Yes. No, it was, listen, somebody's getting fired right now.
Thank you.
Yes. Fired. Absolutely.
Man, this video is very funny but serious at the same time.
He got a message that stuck with him. It said, if we go down, we take everyone. That scared Will more than anything, because it meant this wasn't just about one man. There were others, and they were willing to burn everything to keep their secrets safe, even if it meant taking down people like Will, or Jaden, or anyone else who knew too much. One piece of evidence changed everything. It was a voice recording. Someone close to Will had captured a call back in 2018. On the tape, you could hear Diddy's voice. Clear as day, he wasn't yelling, but the words were sharp. You know what I'm capable of. Don't force me to expose everything. You want Jada and the kids to live in peace, don't you? Then behave. The room went quiet when the tape was played. It was like the whole trial shifted. There was no denying the voice. The FBI ran tests. It was real. Diddy had said those things. And it wasn't just that one call. After that, more messages came in. Some went to Will, some went to Jada. All of them were meant to scare. And it worked. But this time, Will didn't run. He brought the threats into the light. Later in the trial, someone new stepped forward, a man who used to work as a hacker for a tech company tied to Diddy. He said his job was to wipe things, videos, emails, anything that could get people in trouble. But not everything was erased. Some copies slipped through. The FBI found them. Then came something even more strange, a document from inside Bad Boy Entertainment. It listed guests who had come to Diddy's parties. Will Smith's name was there. Next to it were 2 notes. One said it requires monitoring, the other said priority, confidentiality. That made it clear. Will wasn't just a friend, he was being watched. Every move, every word, controlled. In the middle of the trial, Will lost it. He had been quiet, respectful, and calm, but something snapped. He pointed at Diddy and yelled, "You gave me no choice." His voice cracked. His eyes were full of pain. "You threatened my son." Jada was sitting right behind him. Reporters said she reached out and held someone's hand. She didn't say anything, but her face said everything. It was too much. The weight of it all, the fear, the hurt. It was all there. Sitting in that room with more alarming evidence popping up every so often. The trial isn't over, but even now, people everywhere are watching, talking, wondering how something like this could stay hidden for so long. All the fame, all the smiles, it was just a cover, a mask. This story shows how deep silence can run in places like Hollywood, how power can cover the truth. But truth has a way of breaking through, and now it has. So if it were you, would you speak up, even if it meant losing everything? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more videos from us.